Assata Shakur, formerly known as Joanne Chesimard, a former member of the Black Panther Party, and all of her supporters can breathe a sigh of relief today. There were talks of her possibly being extradited back to the United States to continue her life sentence in prison. However, Cuba's head of North American Affairs, Josefina Vidal, has denied all requests from the United States. Now, this is big news to all Assata Shakur supporters because they were worried that she would possibly be brought back to the United States. A lot of people think that she's innocent. And, Shakur currently is on the FBI's most wanted list, and she has a bounty on her head for $2 million. If anybody can assist in her being captured and brought back to the United States, they could possibly get $2 million. Now, Vidal, she has some interesting things to say. I'm not going to read everything she said in its entirety, but I'm just going to give you some short snippets of what she said. And here goes. We've explained to the United States government in the past that there are some people living in Cuba to whom Cuba has legitimately granted political asylum, Vidal said. Excuse me. There is no extradition treaty in effect between Cuba and the United States. We've reminded the United government that in its own country, they've given shelter to dozens upon dozens of Cuban citizens. Some of them accused of horrible crimes, some accused of terrorism, murder, kidnapping. And in every case, the government has decided to welcome them. Now, New Jersey's Governor Chris Christie had a rebuttal to that, and he had some harsh words to say back to the Cuban government. And he stated the following. Again, I'm not going to read everything, but this is what Chris Christie said. Now, he had some choice words. So he said, so Joanne Chesimard, which is Assata Shakur, a cold-blooded cop killer convicted by a jury of her peers, and what is without question the fairest and most just criminal justice system in the world, certainly much more than that has happened in Cuba under the Castro brothers. Now, that's some choice words. Now, this is all coming out of his mouth. And he said here, she is now, according to an official of the Cuban government, persecuted, Christie said. That doesn't make any sense. But anyway, he said this. These thugs in Cuba have given her political asylum for 30 years. It's unacceptable. Now, my question to you guys, the listeners, is this. How do you guys feel about Cuba's decision not to extradite Assata Shakur? Do you agree or disagree with them? Now, again, Vidal stated that, you guys have harbored some of our criminals in your country and you didn't give them back. And she said some of them was accused of terrorism in her country, murder and kidnapping. And the United States has decided to welcome them. Now, why should she give back Assata Shakur if what she's saying is true? I'm not going to get into about, is that any truth to that or anything like that? Or I'm not going to get into what Christie said. Actually, I'm going to get into what Christie said in a minute, but I'm not going to, I don't know, in deep detail of the history of what Vidal said about us harboring terrorists, murders, and kidnappers and things like that, and we decide to welcome them and keep them. I'm not going to get into that, but if that is true, then I agree with her. I don't think she should give back Assata Shakur. And again, there are some Assata Shakur supporters that say she's innocent. And I did look into Assata Shakur's court records, and there are some holes there. There's some gray area there as to whether or not she killed the cop or not. So, if she's brought back to the United States, will she get another trial? It's highly unlikely she'll get another trial. We have another person, but this is a different topic. I was talking about Mumia Abu-Jamal. I mean, he's been in jail basically since I was like 7 years old. And, you know, he was on death row, but now they just made it a life sentence. But he's still in jail. He's been in jail for over 30 some years. So what makes me believe that if she comes back to the United States, she's going to be treated fairly? And if you actually look into her case on how she was treated, how she was allegedly treated, excuse me, you know, I wouldn't want to come back either. So, you know, so for all Assata Shakur supporters, you can breathe a sigh of relief because Cuba is not sending her back. Now, I am worried, though, because if $2 million is on her head and, you know, the U.S. and Cuba, you know, decide to, if the U.S. allows, you know, any U.S. citizen to go over there and travel to Cuba, I think someone's going to go try to get her, period. You know, $2 million is on her head. She's not going to be safe if they open up the gates and decide to let us come over there. Now, I would like to go over there for other reasons, but, you know, I wouldn't have any desire to go and try to capture her. I mean, even though there's $2 million on the table, but somebody's going to do it. Or they can, you know, easily send, you know, people over there to go capture her or whatever. So I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on, because this is a different topic. I don't really have any opinion on her innocence or guilt at this time. Maybe I'll save that for another video. But my main question is, what do you guys think? Again, do you think it's, do you agree with Cuba's decision not to extradite Assata Shakur? And again, do you agree or disagree? And I welcome all comments, and hopefully we can have a discussion about this. All right. I'll talk to you again in another video. Take care. Peace.